Happy New Year to you. We're back with Deep Space Nine and the alternate after this. Hello out there, I'm the oldest nerd. We start out with a Bajoran scientist who was the person who discovered Odo as a new life form of gelatinous quality, and did not find out until some time around with experimentation and things like this that it could transform itself. It could metamorphosize into other shapes and other styles, as we have now found Odo to be. Odo had said in previous episodes that he had modeled his look on the Bajoran scientist who first discovered him and found him and taught him how to interact with people. And so this scientist comes back on Deep Space Nine, not just to see Odo, but also to track down a lead that he has on others like Odo in the Gamma Quadrant. Now, we've already established in a previous episode that there is some kind of proto-life form that is similar to what Odo is, but was inconclusive. And with the idea that there might be more to learn, they get a runabout and go with Dax to this planet where they discover ruins and something that looks like a life form but does not register on any of the sensors. It goes from there. It starts out okay, but the rest of the episode kind of goes south, in my opinion. What we find is, first of all, they do kind of an Indiana Jones thing. They go into the ruins and decide they're going to take some of them back with them, and then earthquakes happen, and they narrowly escape. Sound familiar? And when they get back to DS9, what they have escapes the lab and starts wreaking havoc on the science lab and other parts of the ship. And then there's some suspicion that even Odo has something to do with it. And it all goes back to like a plot for Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, where there's some foreign element that comes in, inhabits usually Chief Sharky, who then goes berserk and almost sinks the sub. But this is very much the same thing. We know how it's going to end up because, of course, everybody has to be back next week. So they're not going to tear down the station. They're not going to kill any of the major characters. They're going to have this in and out. And there are a couple of interesting things where they talk about the Ferengi, who, as a death ritual, rather than burying or cremating their dead, what they do is they chop them up in little pieces and then sell them. And so this is how the episode kind of began, where Quark is selling a piece of a Ferengi criminal, and Odo showed some interest in buying a piece of it, starting a collection, and jokingly said, and in my collection, the very center of it will be you. So this is, a bit for comedy, but certainly it gives you just a little bit more of how the Ferengi society works. And really, we learned more about the Ferengis than we did about Odo by the time of this episode ending. And once again, we still have Dr. Bashir kind of pursuing Jadzia, and Jadzia basically saying no for the 60th time, and him musing to himself after she leaves the med lab that he's being toyed with by her. It is more of a scene from Pepe Le Pew than anything else that I could tell. Anyway, that's what I gathered from this. I think that it is a missable episode because it really doesn't tell you anything about the characters. Like a little bit about the Ferengi, but virtually everything else is just promising something and not delivering. And we find the identity of the scientist that found Odo and looks kind of like him. Okay, fine. And an interesting bit of trivia, though, is that Rene Auberjonois was supposed to play the scientist that found Odo. So you would see the made up Odo as opposed to the just the Rene Auberjonois in Bajoran makeup. And so what we would have here is similar to what they did with Data and Noonien Sung and all the Sung family for that matter. And there have been other situations where they've had just the same actor. They found that it would take them too long to shoot because it would require incredible makeup for both characterizations, and so they went against that. But it might have been a waste of time anyway. The acting was okay. It just was written in kind of a circle and didn't give you anything near the end. So thank you for joining us. We have tomorrow, we will have the original series, another episode there. And on Friday, we will have yet another episode of Babylon 5. So thank you for joining us. Happy New Year once again. And until next time, don't go far.